Page 301, The Bear, another solo piece. So you're going to find, again, it's probably using whole tones because that's sort of what we're studying here. Let's look it over. It's 1 page long, treble bass clef, no sharps or flats in the key signature, so it was expected to be in C major or A minor. However, if it's in a whole tone scale, who knows what it's in? So your teacher can tell you all about that. 2/4 time, and we got eighth notes all over the place. Let's take it right hand first. You'll notice in measure 3, when the right hand comes in, they stick in a bass clef all of a sudden. I don't know why they're doing that. They could have just started it with bass clef and both staves to begin with. If I were editing this, I would give bass clef and both staves to begin with. And then you don't have to introduce a bass clef in the third measure, because now you're down here in a B, third measure. And it's 1 and 2 and. And then when you get to measure 10 or so, your half note, I'm going to play that half note with the thumb. And the reason for that is I want to be in position for the next note, which is the D flat F. Remember, we're in bass clef. So in measure 9 with the eighth notes, we're here. I'm just going to bring the thumb under. I want to end it with the thumb. So I'm ready to go on here. I don't want to go from here to here. The articulation can allow you to do that because it's a new phrase, but I want to finger it so I can feel what's going on. So going on, it's there. I'm using thumb here both. I mean, the melody's really the top note. But you'll notice all of these are major thirds. Every one of these. All of these are major thirds. It's a whole tone scale. You can't have any minor stuff in a whole tone scale, I don't think. I could be wrong, never mind. Now on measure 18, you're here, and on measure 19, they went third finger again. Well, that's rather awkward. So I'll adjust it. I have 2 B's in measure 19. I'll just take advantage of those and change hand positions there. So on measure 18, I'm here, I can do a 2, 3. And then I'm back. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. 2, 3 for measure, 19. Now left hand. The left hand's just got the F. That first note's an F. And you're not sure what it is, you figure it out. You spell it out. Figure it out. Well, you should know 2 ledger lines below the staff. Bass step is a C. Memorize that one. And in my opinion, you should know 3 ledger lines. That's an A. This is, I have to count them. There's 4 of them. That's why I don't memorize them, because I got to count them anyway. Well, 4 of them would be here. You're just playing out octave Fs. And in case you get bored with that, at the very end, you get to play them together. Isn't that nice? That's all the left hand is doing. So put them together, starting with the third measure. You're here. I know it sounds wonderful. It's supposed to be. It's a bear. What do you expect? Yeah. And the whole mess is that way. Okay, you do get to come up here a little bit. Does that sound better or not? It's like we got 2 bears now. And that's basically the piece. Now, this way it sounds really bad. But we have to finish putting it together because we got more coming up. There's more things to do here. And then we'll wait and judge it, I hope. Don't judge it yet. Wait until you get all the stuff in. You get to know it a little bit. Then you can decide, do I really like this or not? So many times when we start to learn a piece of music, including me, when I first get it, I don't think I like this piece of that. But if I stick with it long enough, or a teacher has assigned it to me and I have to stick with it, eventually a lot of times, most of the time, not always, most of the time, I get to the point where I actually kind of like this. I don't know how that works, but sometimes a piece just sounds ugh, and then once you actually get into it and get to know it, not too bad. So let's move on. We'll pretend we got the notes and the rhythms, and we get rid of the hesitations, and then we add the articulation. The short staccatos is at the wrist. You can't get a real short staccato down here. The piano won't do it. Not like here. I can get a boop, it's done here. No, it's boom. But you do the technique for it anyway, short staccato. In the right hand, we have the tenuto. Linger on the note. Hold them out as long as you can. Here. So you have that in contrast to the staccato in the left hand. Here. Now, you get some what's known as portamentos, so they're long staccatos. Take a look, for instance, at measure 21. In the right hand, well, you get them at measure 20. We'll start with measure, what, 19, where the quarter notes are. And you have these staccatos with the lines, and it's like, what do you want? Make up your mind. Well, it's long staccatos. Now, the short staccato. Longs just separate the notes. That's all that is. The left hand's still short staccatos. Can you do short staccatos in one hand and long staccatos in the other hand at the same time? Starting at measure 19 here. Something like that. Takes a little practice, but when you're doing the scales, practice that with the scales. Like if I'm doing a C major scale, I can do staccatos. I can do one hand staccato when I connected. Either way, we'll do long staccatos. Then do staccato and long staccato. Switch it. You don't get that very often in music, and I don't practice it very much. That's why I can't do it very well. But you can practice this stuff with the scales and arpeggios too. You're practicing them anyway, right? So you just well do this too. That way, when you get it in music, you just do it. Now, once I have the articulation sort of under control, then I have the dynamics. Well, mezzo forte at the beginning is sort of loud. Now, down here, it's going to get loud all by itself. So you may have to think of this more like mezzo piano or something. Now this, that's moderately loud. This needs to get in the background, soft. When you get to measure, what, 11? Now you go up to loud. Keep this in the background. Getting these things in measure 12 and 13, watch out when you get a staccato with a line both. They're just long staccatos. Then on what? Measure 19, you're going back down to moderately loud, like you were at the beginning. And then in measure 22 or 23 and 24, you're going to get soft here. Measure 23 starts moderately loud, a little softer, soft. The bear finally went away or went to sleep or something. I'm not sure. But starting measure 23, moderately loud here. And then the last note is soft and held out for a full beat. Now, as far as the speed goes, andante, and that is the feel of the piece and may or may not be the beat. Andante is kind of like a stroll. Think of a bear walking. Maybe a little fast for a bear to walk. I don't know. I haven't seen a bear recently, but that's sort of, it's just, don't drag it. You have to adjust it based on the music and how you feel, but it's like a gentle stroll somewhere. At least that's how I would do it. Please don't copy me. That's just one way of doing it. Experiment a little bit with the dynamics. Maybe you can put in some swells or something, whatever you think the bears are doing. Maybe use your imagination. Let's play this together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm going to play it fairly softly. I'm not going to do the dynamics. I'll give us 2 counts, 2 quarter note counts, but because there's eighth notes all over, I'll put the metronome on eighth notes. Ready, and go, and. Two and off.